Is Joe Biden now a Trump supporter? What is going on? There is a lot of speculation happening at the moment about Joe Biden's lack of effort into the Kamala Harris campaign, and also some hints that he is actually potentially supporting the Republicans. Is he salty about the fact that he was forced out of the race and now Kamala is taking his place? Maybe he hasn't quite forgiven her and the other top figures in the Democrat Party for pushing him out, and now he wants his revenge. Let's get stuck into it, ladies and gents. So Joe Biden is being accused of a deliberate sabotage of Kamala Harris's presidential bid. We've got all sorts of people weighing in, letting us know what they think. So Jason Meister, who's a Republican political strategist on Trump's campaign, he said Biden is intentionally enacting revenge on Kamala for knifing him in the back. What is going on? So there's also been one of the reasons why this is now becoming a story is after the big hurricane that has been going on in Florida, we saw Joe Biden come out and praise the Republican governor of Florida, Ron de Santis, for his response to the hurricane. And this was not along Kamala's line, because Kamala was actually coming out and saying that Ron DeSantis was using the hurricane as a political strategy, and she was condemning him. And then actually Biden has come out and praised the Republicans for their response to the hurricane. So there clearly is some tension between them. Let's just have a look at those comments. So we've got Kamala Harris's comments about the hurricane, followed by Biden's here.
At this moment, in these crisis situations, these are the height of emergency situations. It's just utterly irresponsible, and it is selfish.
The governor of Florida has been cooperative. He said he's gotten all that he needs. I talked to him again yesterday, and I said, no, you're doing a great job. It's all being done well. We thank you for it.
So clearly there is some disagreement between the two of them, but whether this was accidental or not, it's hard to say. Biden is trying to cover himself up after the backlash after this, saying that he wasn't aware of Kamala Harris's comments. But even regardless of this, his absence from the Kamala Harris campaign is very, very obvious. Why isn't he out supporting her? Obviously when he stepped down, we had sort of a statement come out from him saying, oh yeah, I'm all behind Kamala, she's the candidate. They didn't want to have a whole contest over who the next leader was going to be, so he just came out and said, yep, it's going to be Kamala, that's who I'm supporting. So they didn't have to go through a whole leadership contest. But I'm not sure that was genuine, because he and Jill Biden, who really wanted Joe to carry on very clearly, when actually the right thing for her to do would to say, sorry, honey, you're really not up to the job. You've got problems with your cognitive abilities. You need to take it easy. She is desperate for the power. She is desperate to run the White House behind him. And maybe she is salty. So let's have a look at also what we've got Vivek Ramaswamy, who you guys may know. He was running as a Republican presidential candidate, and then pulled out of the race. And we've also got Hank Scheinkopf. He's a Democratic strategist, and he said that Biden's behavior could be a power move to ensure that people know who the boss still is. It would be absolutely ridiculous to assume that he has no resentment over how he was treated, or how, frankly, he was forced out in what some would describe as a coup. And then we've got Vivek Ramaswamy. He said that at a Trump rally that Biden might secretly be rooting for Trump's success in Pennsylvania. And we know that Pennsylvania is that big swing state where it all matters. It is super, super important what happens in that state. And he also said, I think it's clear that Joe is still bruised by what happened. And I think also what Newt Gingrich had to say was also very interesting. Take a listen to this.
My personal hunch is that Jill and Joe have decided that their place in history will look bigger if he's the only person ever to defeat Trump. And I suspect also there's a certain resentment that people said he couldn't campaign, and look how badly she's campaigning. And I think it's sort of like payback time.
That is really, really interesting what Newt Gingrich is saying there. So potentially Joe Biden is not helping Kamala out and potentially undermining her campaign because he wants to be able to say that he is the only person in history to have defeated Donald Trump in a presidential election. So really, really interesting stuff. Time will tell. We'll see what happens over the rest of the campaign, how Joe Biden supports her or undermines Kamala Harris, and it will be interesting to see what effect that has on the campaign. Could Joe Biden's actions be the thing which is able to just tip the balance in Trump's favor if Joe Biden is clearly not backing the candidate in his own party? If he's not backing her, maybe Democrat voters will think maybe she's not up to the job. And interesting what Newt Gingrich was saying there about the frustration that Joe Biden can clearly see, that he was told he can't run because he's a bad campaigner and he can't string a sentence together. But look at Kamala Harris with all these word salads that she keeps giving us, telling us we're going to be unburdened from what has been over and over again. I mean, what the hell does that even mean? We saw the video the other day where she was not supposed to have a teleprompter, and then there was a camera view on this show. The camera went round and accidentally showed her teleprompter, and then they quickly turned off the teleprompter because they freaked out about the fact that we saw that she was using a teleprompter. Her and Keir Starmer, they can't speak without teleprompters, which I think is pretty embarrassing. It's a pretty basic skill for a politician to be able to talk somewhat fluidly. I'm not saying you have to be the best public speaker in the world, but if you can't string a sentence together without a teleprompter, that's pretty embarrassing. So you can see why Joe Biden is probably frustrated and pissed off about the fact that he was pushed out of this race in favor of Kamala Harris. We'll see what happens. We've still got a few weeks to go until the election, and it's going to be very exciting. I still don't know who's going to win. Let me know in the comments who you think is going to win the presidential election. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. I'm Chloe Dobbs. Make sure you press the notification bell on the Reason channel so you don't miss out on the next video. We've got an exciting few weeks ahead with the Tory leadership campaign going on at the same time as the American presidential election. So there's going to be a lot going on and you don't want to miss out. I'll see you all very soon.